the CEO. Sorry, he's the CEO of Richmond Football Club, and he's got more of a head wobble than
the eternal
anyone I've ever seen.
The eternal raised eyebrow. It constantly looks like he's raising his eyebrow.
We've got two
pretty sad.
We have two really sad stories about our ones. One being the Wakelands.
Oh, yeah.
They both wound up being premiership players elsewhere.
Yep, that's true.
And
Port Adelaide and Collingwood, yeah.
Yeah, and also Xavier and Raphael Clark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was
his
name?
Yeah, Raph Clark, didn't you?
Yeah, both of them.
Yeah, both. Oh.
And Xavier Clark was a freak. Coming up to Indigenous round, so this is appropriate. Yeah. He was fucking awesome. Yeah. But did his knee, a few other injuries, couldn't get back to it. But he was the X-Man for a while. And that how good he was influenced them to pick up Raphael at bloody pick 8 or something. Yeah. And he wasn't very good.
He wasn't that good, was he?
He was amazing at lower levels, but on the spotlight, he just was a deer.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? That spotlight can really freak. But speaking of Indigenous players, what were you going to say?
I was going to say, I was bringing it back to you
how's
guys
that come back with us?
Imagine if you got midfield's brother.
Who? Oh!
Zach Jones. But he re-signed with Sydney in the last week or so.
He's in Sydney.
And that made me figure the D's.
He's been a gun.
That would be great. And having another midfield. Having two midfields.
And imagine the fire that would spark if two brothers. I always love the idea of playing with your brother.
And the Corns as well.
Is there another Corn?
I think the Scots are probably the best on-field example, I reckon, of like people, especially because they were twins. I think someone said, it was Stevie J said, once that he whacked Brad Scott over the back of the head and ran away from it, and all of a sudden it felt like he was there again because Chris Scott had seen it and come running over, and he thought he was seeing double, which he was, and then got belted by Chris Scott. And just thought it was all a bit strange. But anyway, we'll get on to the D's. Sorry. Yeah.
Well, there's not much else to say apart from that.
That was glorious. That was a good win.
We were harder at it, and I reckon I wish
you hunted him.
Well, I want to throw a thing out there for Neil Danaher because he came in and spoke to the boys before the game. I wish we had a soundbite of it. You could probably look it up on YouTube or something. But he gave a speech, and listening to him now, it's the first time I've heard anything of him the last 5 years.
Neil
Danaher.
Yeah, I haven't heard him.
And hearing him speak, and not only how he
was your last best coach.
Oh, definitely. I love Neil Danaher.
He got you to finals. You guys, for a stage, were jostling with the Saints and Geelong to be the next up-and-comers.
Yeah, we were. So, I don't know. It's just... That really got me upset, actually. I was like, wow, this shit really...
Yeah.
Really does.
That's a...
And I was worried, that we were going to fuck it up. Because we tend to not
do well
for him. Hey,
They've obviously taken in and gone, fuck. Yeah.
So they went out and they hunted the ball.
Yeah. And they hunted the dogs too.
And dogs are hunters. They're a hunter.
Well, that's what they did to us in round 2. They hunted us all over the ground. So it was who won the game for you? Who was the most pivotal player?
Probably Hogan. He kicked 3. Unheralded. Pedard.
The midfield got the 3 votes.
Pedersen.
The midfield got the 3 votes on the radio.
Yeah, he deserved
from Triple M.
He deserved it.
Nah, see, I think it was Bernie Vince. Bernie Vince.
Vandenberg's been a great pickup.
Yeah, Bernie Vince did kick a really
kick 2 goals.
Goal. Yeah.
2 goals in the last quarter.
Yeah,
just to sink them.
Yeah,
and also kept Bontempelli to 14.
Yeah, so that's a good point. That's what I mean. It was a good spread effort,
I mean, like this.
Now Weeds were playing well.
This was what
Spence running out of the midfield, grabbing it out and tapping it to himself, and then doing one of these dinky kicks. You see the way he kicks?
Yeah.
Reminds me of Jimmy Stones. It's like I'm going to push it on my.
Do you know what took by your Weeds and also Gorillas? Pedersen.
Yeah, he's a gorilla.
He's a fucking gorilla.
Yeah, he's got good hands.
Because there was a patch last year where he was the man.
Yeah.
In Melbourne. Yeah. Forget about bloody Toppy Dawes.
Yeah.
I think he should. I don't know when his contract's up, but Dawes should see the door pretty soon.
Yeah, I'd show him the doors.
Oh yeah, give him the doors. And what I would like to ask you is, you guys with another pre-season could be in the Saints boat if you wished.
Could be in the Saints
boat.
What's the Saints boat like?
The Saints boat is loaded.
What is the Saints boat? Matthew?
The Saints boat is bloody
iceberg.
The P&O Sun Star, the Sun Princess. It's just great times. And you want to?
How could we have ended up on that boat?
Because
come on, don't bullshit me.
Yeah, that was Chris Jack.
Thanks, mate.
Very nice.
I'll do what I can.
Yeah. Welcome, Arnie, to the show.
Yeah, I'm your Arnie. Yeah. But
how's this? Where's this?
What do you got, Jack?
I want to ask you a bunch of questions. And I want to have them answered immediately.
Alright. I'll let me. So, the same boat being chock full of youngsters. You've gone in and addressed a few areas and got some outside older talent, being Reefer.
Yep.
Who else have you got?
Garlett was a really good pickup. Vandenberg.
Vandenberg's mature.
Todd Viney found him.
Bernie Vince.
I heard Todd Viney talking about it.
Yeah, Dom.
Ben Newton from Port Adelaide.
Yep, definitely.
Barely played a game there and has come in as in your best
point.
We've done a similar model.
Yeah.
And we all know another pre-season is going to... you expect to come out better at the end of it.
He's giving us hope.
He's giving
us hope, Jack.
And of course, with the young list and all that, you've got cash.
Yeah.
He's going to go shopping.
Oh.
Let's just say you finish with a top 3 pick or a top 4 pick.
I think we're done with picks. I don't think picks are really
so that's automatically that's a great bargaining chip. Who are you going for?
Who's on the shelf?
Anyone really these days.
Well, these days it doesn't matter.
If you can pick 2 players, right? One of the 2 would come to your club, and you would love Melbourne to go fucking hammer and tong at them.
Yeah, who would you want?
Or at the same time, who would you want?
I want a midfielder. Our forwards, maybe a midfielder, and maybe one more forward.
Yeah, who?
So forward. No, a ruckman. We need a fucking.
You need a ruckman? Yeah.
We need a really good ruckman. So, I mean, I'd love someone like Mumford.
I reckon you get Will Minson pretty cheap.
Yeah.
I reckon ruckman you can manoeuvre them.
Minson I would go for, definitely.
Yeah. He'd be better than J-Mar, yeah, certainly.
Well, J-Mar's not even in the team anymore.
No. Who played ruck for you guys on the weekend? Spence did.
The weed.
I've got to bring up Spence. Spence was nearly my boy, actually. Mainly because of the trash he heaped on him before we watched the replay. And I hadn't seen the game, folks.
I thought it was Fitzpatrick half the time.
Yeah, they do look very similar. But
little dinky head on.
I asked the game when I saw Spence did something really nice very early, and I said to Josh, how was his game? He's like, pretty shit actually. He didn't do much.
He was the weed.
Spence is all over the ground, winning clearances and taking big marks.
He grew.
Oh, jeez. I think a public apology might need to be made.
It was feel good ink. He became a gorilla. Him and Grimes and and your boy the Toomp.
Yeah, he's bloody been my man.
He kicked 2 goals and played nicely.
I was going to say that we winding it up.
Yeah, we got to move quickly.
We've got about 13 minutes, so we actually have to squeeze in you boys.
Jesus.
And put him with Deflators, Richmond.
Deflators. You're just upset that I'm drinking these tasty beverages that someone else paid for because the mighty Tigers got up and about.
Sana always pays their
God,
debts.
It was fucking beautiful. It was the exact opposite of what the prelim final was.
Right, admit how gracious I was.
You were very gracious in defeat, I will admit, and you watched it and you liked it.
You did it together,
but I wasn't even in defeat.
No, you were happy to. You even said to me at the end that you were happy. This was the happiest you'd ever been when losing a bet.
Oh, really? Why's that?
Because I part of that reason was if they had failed like I expected them to do, then.
More of the same.
It would just be because Jack is a bit blind to the external happenings, I guess. And by him having to hand over a slab if they had lost in a game that they should have lost. Oh, to me. And to the most of the footy public, I reckon. Rather than it just been purely how he played it very nicely, we're going to win it.
Yeah.
And if he had lost it and given me the slab, I would have hoped that would have been more of a learning tool to get with the program. But
blind faith.
But what? Fuck the program.
That's right. Well, that's why I was happy, because I like Richmond. They're my second team easily, and a part of that, them being stale when they're meant to be decent, while the Saints are stale and not meant to be decent. I don't want to follow for two disappointing teams anymore.
Yeah. I want to see. I want to see you guys, both of you guys, be successful as well. Not only just for this radio thing, because I think I feel really sorry. Not sorry.
Hang on. This is Tiger time. We've only got a few minutes. Let me get a couple of little juicy bits in.
Flow, Jack.
After all that shit you were giving Lids Deledio last week.
You've been fucking
I've been winding you up about this all week.
I told you,
but I'm not going to go for his career stats. I'll bring that in when I got more time, because there's so many of them to spout off. But here's his first quarter stats: 11 disposals, 5 contested, 3 inside 50s, a goal, and 2 assists. 2 goal assists.
He's a good player.
That's a hell of a quarter. That's a hell of a quarter, just to set the tone. But on the win as a whole, I thought it was Damien Hardwick's best coach game, because they just completely robbed Port of their through the centre game. Yeah. And they just mobbed around the ball. Yeah. And it was this perfect mix of message and players. Like, you're going to go out and do this. It's a lot harder to, it's quite easy to
saw the recordings of his, in the box.
I did really like that, yeah. But they came in with a plan. And more importantly, the players were able to execute the plan. Which is, why I've never really thought that Dimmer was in any trouble, because the plan's always been sound. It's just the players earlier in the season weren't able to execute it.
Yeah, or executing it. Yeah.
Or when they weren't doing it for long enough. And we took our chances. Jack kicked 4-0. Didn't miss a chance.
Were they all second shots?
3 of them were. One of them, the last one, was a beautiful snapper.
I love snappers.
I love it. And Jack loves a snapper too.
Snappers.
No, it was a complete performance across the board, and we've still got
I was
some
saying,
good players down low.
I had a look at it sorry,
you watched it as well.
I went to Steve-O's and watched it with him and Jack. The second half, and Cochin, I saw he finished it the second half. He got about, I think, 7 or 8 touches. Yeah. But I did not see him get those touches. Yeah. So the whole time while Richmond are just performing staunchly, rock solid.
Skipper had 16.
Freo in that just the maintaining the zone and whatever's thrown at him, it's just getting bounced back out.
Well, third quarter we didn't kick a goal, and we just absorbed it.
I did not see him do it. Nothing. I saw Deledio be unlucky and not get fucking about 5 free kicks.
Yeah, he doesn't get them, does he?
No.
Holding the man?
Yeah.
But what I did see was Ivan.
Oh, Ivan
I reckon he heard your tune last week.
Ivan was
I reckon he did. I reckon that's the most anyone's got around him in years.
Yeah. Really. But fucking Ivan beat Lobie and Ryder, not only in the ruck, but around the ground.
Yeah.
He had more influence on the game than those two players combined.
His third quarter, when it was all Port, but they kicked 1 goal. 1 goal for the whole quarter.
And they had to run the play for the whole time.
The whole time. And Ivan, I reckon he took about 3 grabs at least.
Yeah, 3 big ones.
In the back line, yeah.
3 big grabs, but got his own clearances and got his own tackles and worked so hard.
Maybe we should offer him some money.
Get stuffed. You're not taking the mullet away from Punt Road.
He's too old.
Nah, he's ours.
How old is he?
Yeah,
he's 29, yeah. So really? He's got a good 3 years left in him. Premiership tilt, my friend.
You reckon?
If we win a flag, Ivan, in the next sort of 5 to 10, Ivan will be there.
Lid is definitely off, folks.
Lid is well and truly off. We're going to fucking destroy Essendon this weekend. I'm so pumped up.
You're back in the picture.
What are you talking about, Willis? That's him.
There we go.